Hello guys, it is Alpha Shay 19 coming at you again for the week 5 picks. And so last night I actually ended up getting both the picks right. So that brought my total up to 8 in the 6 last week. I think I honestly don't even want to keep doing the math to figure out what I was every single week of the season thus far. So we might just do updates week per week. 8-6 last week, doing pretty good overall on the season. Still positive on the season as well. So now we're gonna get into these week's picks. But before we do that, remember to like the video if you like the content. And if you haven't already, go ahead and click that subscribe button. We already know most of y'all are not subscribed, so go ahead and click the subscribe button. Clicking the subscribe button is actually probably one of the best things you can do to help the channel. So we hope that you stick around and continue to watch more videos. Anyway, now that that PSA is over, we are officially ready to make some picks this week. So let's just start off by talking about our Thursday night game here: the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Atlanta Falcons. Now, the Buccaneers have been playing pretty well this season. Last week, I believe they won against the Eagles. They did really well against the Eagles. And, I mean, the Falcons have played basically where the Falcons were expected to be. 2-2 is about where people expected them to be. I'm not going to lie about that. I don't think anybody thought the Falcons would do any worse than they're doing or any better. So I think, this is a really good game if you like pretty typical football. I mean, there's nothing special about this game at all, really. I mean, you get decent quarterbacks both sides. You get decent teams playing against each other. Going to be a nice game to watch. I do think Tampa Bay takes it though. It's going to be a close one though. I'm going to say 30-27 Tampa Bay. It's going to be really close. It's going to be decent scoring because I think both offenses are fantastic. But yeah, good game, fun to watch. Tampa Bay takes it, and that's how it's going to be. Now to the international game in London. There's always at least one London game. Sometimes there's more than that. Jets versus the Vikings. Okay, so the Jets kind of were horrible last week against the Broncos. Nothing saying or doing about that. They should not have lost to the Broncos last week. And I think Minnesota stays undefeated. Minnesota stays undefeated. There's nothing about this Jets team that really wows me. Dude, the Jets have been overhyped for like 3 to 4 years now, and it's not even a coincidence that they continue to stay bad. Like, they're not a good team, all right? The team is not very good. Even with Aaron Rodgers, they're still not very good. I'm going to go and say Minnesota stays undefeated. 26-24. I'll be nice to the Jets and give them a 2-point L against a pretty decent Minnesota Vikings team. I don't want to say the Vikings are juggernauts, but they are one of the last two undefeated teams standing. We'll get to the other one later, I assume, unless they have a bye week. This week I don't think they do, though. Carolina versus Chicago. So I think early on in the season I would have said this is an easy win for Chicago. But at this point, with Andy Dalton playing at quarterback and playing far better than Bryce Young was in the first 2 weeks, I think Carolina does actually have a chance to win this game. That being said, Caleb Williams looks like he has figured things out, but I think it's going to be an interesting game nonetheless. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and give Carolina the W here. This is probably going to be one of those times where people are thinking that this is going to be an upset. And the thing is, it could be an upset. But I think it's going to be an upset. Listen, Andy Dalton knows how to play against teams like the Chicago Bears, and he's going to go off against the Bears. And I don't know that Caleb Williams is realistically going to be able to keep up in a NFL shootout, realistically. And if he has to, he's not going to be able to win. So, because the Carolina Panthers have drastically improved their play with Andy Dalton at quarterback overall, I think I'm going to give the Carolina Panthers a good 24-17 W over the Chicago Bears. I do think that Caleb Williams has started to develop into a better NFL quarterback than he was in the first few weeks of the season, but I'm glad to see that he's not the next Patrick Mahomes like everybody thought he would be. Because he's not unstoppable. The Bears are not gonna be like this like completely like disgusting team to play against. They're not that. And I think I knew that personally, right? I knew that going into the season. But all the analysts were like, oh my God, Caleb Williams, best quarterback since Patrick Mahomes. Amazing already. He hasn't played a single game, but we're already going to sing his praises to the heavens. The best quarterback ever, Caleb Williams. Like, how much hype was on this guy, and the Bears have started 2-2. With all the hype around him, they should have been 4-0, right? In my opinion, they should have been 4-0 if he was as good as he was. If the hype lived up to the actual product, he would be 4-0, but he's not. So continue on. My Baltimore Ravens are back, baby. They're back. Shoo! They are back, and they're back big time with a 35-10 victory against the Buffalo Bills on a Sunday night. The undefeated Buffalo Bills, by the way. But it doesn't get easier, does it? No, 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 it does not. See, these Cincinnati Bengals, they're 1-3, but they are no joke. This is AFC North football, man, in Cincinnati. I didn't even realize that, but it's in Cincinnati, though. And listen, we all know what happens Ravens Bengals week, man. Anybody that watches the Ravens or the Bengals consistently knows this game's going to be a complete mess. It's not going to be fun to watch. There's going to be tons of penalties on both teams. And guess what? This type of game can only be decided by the grace of God himself. Or their self, whatever, herself, himself, their self, whatever the heck God is, He's gonna decide it by the powers that be. Because good Lord, it is not gonna be decided by these teams. It's already out of control. It's already out of control. Like the Bengals are out of control, the Ravens are out of control. Like it's just a complete mess. But I'm gonna believe that in the chaos, the Ravens will rise victorious. Because I have to believe in my team now at this point. 2 W's in a row after a shaky 0-2 start. Now we're back on track. The Bengals, of course, got themselves back on track with a win against the Panthers last week. Both teams riding high with very good wins. But I'm going to give the Ravens the slight edge. 27-24. I believe the Ravens take a 3-point victory against the Bengals. I'm never going to doubt the Cincinnati Bengals as a Ravens fan. Listen, they could be one of the worst teams in the league and they could still beat the Ravens. I don't think they're as bad as the record says. You have to remember they've played against the Chiefs already. Both these teams have played against the Chiefs, and the Chiefs are a 4-0 team. Nobody's beaten the Chiefs this year. Nobody's beaten the Vikings this year. Those could be the best teams in the league. However, the Ravens beat an undefeated team last week. And the Bengals haven't really shown that they can go up against top tier talent yet. If they win against the Ravens this week, they will have shown that. And it would suck for the Ravens. But yeah. The Houston Texans versus the Buffalo Bills. The news only gets worse for the Buffalo Bills, doesn't it? The Houston Texans are going to win this football game. Tell you what. The Bills' defense is incredibly limited, and the Texans are just about as strong as the Baltimore Ravens are. And not only that, but it's a home game for Houston, and this is the second true test that the Buffalo Bills have faced all season. The Ravens blew the Bills out of the water. We know that anybody can run on that Bills defense. Derrick Henry might be one of the best running backs in the league. Don't expect the Texans to put up almost 300 yards on the ground the Ravens put up against the Bills, by the way. But don't expect it to be that way with the Texans. But do expect that the Texans will put up at least 150 yards on the ground. They're going to gash these guys, man. The Bills' defense leaves a lot to be desired. As a Ravens fan, watching that game last week, I thought only one thing when it was 21-3. Do not slip up in the second half, and they did not. They did not slip up. They gave up one touchdown to maybe let things get a little bit closer, but then they put their foot back on the gas again. The Bills have not been tested this year besides against the Ravens. This is their second test, and I think they're going to fail again. All right, they're going to fail again, and they're going to lose 32-28. Now I got to make it look like it's going to be a little bit closer. I don't trust the Texans defense as much as I do the Ravens defense, and that might be a strange thing to say this year, but it's the truth. That's the truth. So that's what it's going to be. 32-28. Bills take the L. Houston gets the win at home. Jacksonville has been the most disappointing team this year. This team could have easily been 4-0 this year if they had actually played up to their potential. But they are not playing up to their potential. And the Colts are probably going to be starting Joe Flacco this week. I know, Joe Flacco, the guy that always seems to get like at least 4 or 5 starts every single season over the last like 4 or 5 years. I don't know how the man does it. He's Houdini or something. And listen, as a Ravens fan, I love Joe Flacco. And Joe Flacco gave us a present last week with a W against the Steelers. And guess what? It's going to get even worse for the Jacksonville Jaguars because they're going to start out 0-5 after this week because the Indianapolis Colts are going to take it to them again this year. And it's going to be a 27-23 W for the Indianapolis Colts against these Jaguars, man. Don't doubt it, man. Joe Flacco looked good last week. He's going to look good again. These Jaguars do not have a good defense. They do not have a good defense. Trevor Lawrence is trying, but he is not succeeding. Man, this is a rough. It's going to be a rough year for the Jaguars, and they better strap in because it's not looking good. It is not looking good. They're going to start 0-5, man. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs this year. They didn't last year, barely, but this year, not going to be good. They are not a good team. Indianapolis is a better team than them this year, that's for sure. Miami Dolphins against the New England Patriots. This game is going to be a complete booty. And guess who's going to win? The New England Patriots are going to win this game. 16-13. You heard it here. It's going to be 16-13. Listen, Tyler Huntley is starting for the Miami Dolphins. Again, probably. I doubt that anybody else is going to start. He's better than Skylar Thompson, but basically any quarterback in the NFL is better than Skylar Thompson. Skylar Thompson is complete booty. I don't know who the other guy is out there in Miami. You know, Tua Tagovailoa is literally looking at retirement in the face at this point. And Jacoby Brissett is giving you 16 to 17 points a game. Oh, wait, he's not even going to start because you're starting Drake May for some reason. Oh, okay. You know, this game is going to become a complete disaster for both teams. That's why I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. But I think that the Patriots are going to be better in these types of games this year. I mean, I think they're going to win. I mean, both teams are terrible. Miami due to injury, though. And the thing is, the Patriots is just not good ever since Belichick and Brady left. So that's the way it's going to be. 16-13, Patriots getting another win on the season. Commanders Browns. Look, man, Deshaun Watson is not him, though. He's not him. But you know who is him? Jaden Daniels is him. Man, I did not think at the beginning of the season that we would be sitting here talking about the Commanders being 3-1, man. The Commanders are the surprise of the season. I don't think anybody expected the Commanders to actually be this good, but when your quarterback completes 80% of his passes, you gotta be this good, right? How the heck did they even lose to the Buccaneers in week 1, man? Dude, I mean, I know the Commanders' defense is sus, but that offense is insane. That offense is insane. You can't do much better than what Jaden Daniels has done this season. That guy, he's going off. He is going off, man. It's crazy. And my Ravens got to play against them in a couple, like next week after this one. But we're talking about the Browns, though. You know the Commanders are going to win this game. The Commanders are going to win this game, but not only are they going to win this game, it's going to be a blowout. The Commanders are going to blow out the Cleveland Browns. There's no way they don't. But they're gonna give up some points though. It's gonna be like 35 to 19. 35-19 Commanders. They're gonna take another dub. But they better look out for next week though, because my Ravens are gonna be coming in, and that's just gonna be the way it is. The 2-2 Las Vegas Raiders against the 2-2 Denver Broncos. My God, the Broncos have been scraping by some crazy wins over the last couple weeks. Talking about a 10-9 win. How do you win 10-9 in the current NFL? 10-9? Bo Nix finally has a touchdown though. Hey, you know what? At least he got that right. Hey, the team that scored more touchdowns ended up winning the game last week. Alright, cool. Denver actually has some semblance of an offense now. Not really. They scored 10 points. I'm going to give this one to the Raiders. How do you not give this to the Raiders? I think the Broncos are good for about 10 to 13 points a game. I don't know how they've even won 2 games thus far, but they did. Their defense is legit. I'll say that. You know what? Screw it. Raiders win 17 to 10. 17 to 10. That's about what I think. The Broncos are going to make every team just like not score points this year, because clearly their defense is good. Their offense is not though. Their offense is bad. All right. The Broncos might have the worst offense in the league. Their offense is absolutely terrible, but their defense is decent. Their offense is terrible. Still think the Raiders get the win, though. Cardinals at San Francisco. The Cardinals look good in week 1. Ever since then, they've flopped. Floppity-doppity-doppity flop. Floppity-flippity-flop, flop play. Yes. I think the San Francisco 49ers are going to win this one. It's going to be a close game. Give me the 49ers 32-30. That's all I got to say about that. 32-30, 49ers get it done. Packers versus the Rams. Look, Jordan Love is technically 0-2 this season, and Malik Willis is 2-2. That has nothing to do with the actual skill set of the quarterback. That's just the luck of the draw. Listen, Jordan Love has played against teams that are better than what Malik Willis played against. Malik Willis got to play against his old team in the Titans. And the Titans without Derrick Henry are absolute dookie. They're apparently better than the Miami Dolphins, though, as they picked up their first win this week. I have to say, I mean, I knew the Chiefs were not on bye week this week. But I think the Packers win this game. I think Jordan Love picks up another win for his career. I mean, you know, he returned last week. He looked pretty good. The Packers ended up not winning, but I mean, like, it's a tough game against the Vikings. What can you say about that? But I think they're going to win against the Rams. The Rams are not good this year, man. It's a Matt Stafford down year, and if anybody wants to check in with me on that one, about that one, Matt Stafford, in my opinion, does not deserve to go to the Hall of Fame. Ever since he won that Super Bowl a couple of years ago, people have been saying, oh yeah, let Matt Stafford into the Hall of Fame. Matt Stafford does not belong in the Hall of Fame. You know who belongs in the Hall of Fame more so than Matt Stafford does? Joe Flacco. I would have Joe Flacco in the Hall of Fame before I'd put Matt Stafford in there. Heck yeah, I would. You know why? Because Matt Stafford has been the most inconsistent quarterback in the NFL ever. I mean, ever. Dude has the most up years and the most down years and the most up years and the most... It's literally like up year, down year. This year's a down year. If he plays next year, it's going to be an up year and the Rams will be good again. That's what it is. You want to know what it is? That's what it is. Look at his. Let me bring this up. Let me prove my point. Okay. Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford, man. Look at these years, dude. Look at this. He's thrown for 978 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions this year, with a quarterback rating of 85. not too terrible, right? Well, 89, right? But last year, 24 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Dude already has 2 interceptions this year. The year before that, 2,000 yards and 87, 2,087 yards, 10 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. For that, the year before that, over 4,000 yards, 41 touchdowns, 17 interceptions. The year before that, 4,000 yards, 26 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. The year before that, 2,000, a little bit over 2,000 yards, 19 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. The year before that, almost 4,000 yards. You see what I'm saying? Look at this. Every single year, it's been up year, his rookie season, pretty good. Rookie numbers. Down year, gets injured. Up year, over 5,000 yards. Then he goes and he has, I guess, another 17 interceptions is a lot, though. So 16, but 41 touchdowns. But 20 touchdowns and 17 interceptions is terrible. Exactly. Then another up year, and then another friggin' down year again. But he's always passing for a lot of yards, you might say. It doesn't matter. The numbers are there to prove it. Like, he's always going down every single year. Look at that. I mean, I guess, well, not really. There's not really like a pattern realistically, but if you look in terms of like the outcomes, in terms of the outcomes for the team, like down year, up year, down year, up year, down year, up year, right? Down and then wait, I guess this one was a down year. This one was an up year. And then he hits the Rams. I think this was the Super Bowl year. And then they had a horrible season. And then they had a good season. And now they're having a mid-season. You tell me what it's crazy. It's crazy. It's not even like it might not be there in the statistics, but it's there in the results. The New York Giants versus the Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks are going to win this game. The Seahawks have had the most crazy cakewalk schedule I've ever seen in my entire life. This team only has one loss because they've only played one good team this entire season. Tell me what team is good on the Seahawks schedule. Seattle Seahawks. Bruh, this is crazy. They lost to the Lions yesterday. They won against the Dolphins without Tua. They beat the very bad Patriots, and they beat the very bad Broncos. All right? And now they're going to play the very bad Giants, right? So they haven't even played one team on their schedule, but besides the Lions, with a winning record, by the way. You got the 1-win Patriots, the 1-win Dolphins, and the 2-win Broncos on your schedule. And you went to overtime against the Patriots. You're going to win against the Giants, but it's not going to look good. Let me give them a 27-24 win against the Giants. And that might be overestimating the Giants, but I don't know. Oh, brother, here we go. Here we go. Probably America's game of the week, honestly. This is hilarious. I love this matchup. It's my favorite matchup, bro. This is the matchup I've been waiting for. You know why I've been waiting for this matchup? Because the Pittsburgh Steelers are gonna lose to the Dallas Cowboys. They're gonna lose the game, brother. Do you really think that the Pittsburgh Steelers, current state, are able to beat a team like the Dallas Cowboys? Y'all just lost to the Indianapolis Colts and your kryptonite Joe Flacco. And now you're going to lose to the Dallas Cowboys in one of the classic matchups of all football time. In Pittsburgh, by the way. Oh, and it's not going to be pretty. It's not. Dak Prescott is going to throw on y'all all day. He's going to throw on y'all all day. And it's going to be disgusting. and y'all gonna lose about the same score that you lost to the Colts. It's gonna be about 27, 27 now to 21. And I don't think it's gonna be 27 to 24. It's not gonna be that close. It's gonna be 27 to 21, and I'll tell you why. Because the Cowboys don't have as porous of a defense as the Colts do. I watched that Colts Steelers game at the end last week. The Ravens weren't on until Sunday night. And not to mention the fact that you're playing Sunday night with Justin Fields? Boy, you already know. You already know the Cowboys got to break that face. Exactly. Listen, I'm not a Cowboys fan, but I am when they play against the Steelers. I'm a Ravens fan, and I'm going to say this one time. How about them Cowboys? Exactly. Man, I hope I get to say how about them Cowboys again on Sunday night. That's what I want to see. Didn't want to see that a couple weeks ago, but my Ravens took them down. That's what I'm talking about. Anyway, the last game of this week is the New Orleans Saints against the Kansas City Chiefs. My God. This game is going to be a disaster. It's going to be a disaster. Listen, the Saints have been mid this year. They looked like they were going to tear the league apart in the first 2 weeks. And then they played like absolute boo in the next 2 weeks. So there's that. So my thought, are the Saints going to beat the Chiefs this week? Do they break the streak? Did Minnesota stay undefeated this week? Do they? Yes, they do. But guess what? Does Kansas City go 5-0, or do they go 4-1? That's what everybody's gonna want to know. Believe it or not, I think the Saints are the type of team to be able to do it. I've been picking Kansas City every week, but this time I'm gonna listen. I've been picking New Orleans every week too, and I've been wrong about them twice now, and that feels weird. But I'm gonna go with the Saints on this one, and this is gonna be my upset pick, basically of the year so far, because I don't think I've picked any like real underdogs this season so far. But I'm gonna go with the Saints on this one. My inkling, my gut feeling is telling me the Saints right now. Nothing else is telling me the Saints. My brain is like, you should probably pick the Chiefs. My gut is like, you should pick the Saints. And the thing is, like, the Chiefs they haven't been dominant this year, okay? The Chiefs realistically have not been that. They're 4-0, and you would think, oh yeah, that means dominance, right? No. Not if you look at their games. They've all been close. They've all been close games, man. And it's not like they've played against teams that are particularly, like, doing that well, right? Either. I mean, they played the Ravens, who are 2-2. I mean, the Ravens started 0-2, and then they won 2 games in a row, and then they played the Falcons, another 2-2 team. They played the Bengals, a 1-3 team, and who did they play last week? Who did they play last week? They played, I can't remember. They played the Chargers last week, and the Chargers, I believe, must have a bye week because I didn't see them at all. And the Chargers, I believe, are 2-2 as well, so they haven't. Look this up. Chargers are 2-2 because they lost to the Chiefs, right? The Chargers are, where are they? There they are. They're 2-2. Every team in the AFC North, every single team in the AFC West is 2-2. So I mean, they're besides the Chiefs. So I mean, the Chiefs haven't played a team with a record above 500. I mean, and the best team they've played against this year is the Ravens. Definitely 100%. It's the Ravens, right? Because I mean, the Chargers are probably the second best team. The Ravens are the best team that they've played, and they only beat the Ravens by a toe. So now you're talking about the Saints. I think the Saints will become the second best team that they play because I think that the Saints are better than the Chargers. However, it is in Kansas City. And we all know at this point that Kansas City does benefit from the refs calling BS calls against people. That's just what it is. Now, listen. I personally think that the Saints are going to win. I'm going to call it an upset this week. An upset. Because the Chiefs only won by 7 this past week. And the thing is, I watched the end of that game, okay? I watched the end of the game. The Chargers had multiple chances to win that game. They really did. Now, it's Derek Carr versus Patrick Mahomes. Now, Derek Carr used to start for the Raiders, and therefore he's played a lot of games against Mahomes. I don't know what his record against Mahomes is, but I know he's taken a few games off of him before. So it's not unheard of for Derek Carr to be able to beat Patrick Mahomes. Ironically, both the Raiders and Saints are 2-2 this year to start the season, hilariously enough. And the Chiefs are going to get to play the Raiders and the Broncos later, which is kind of hilarious. They'll play both those teams 2 times this year. But final score, though, I'm going to go ahead and say 24-20. 24-20, New Orleans wins. Off of a last-minute touchdown. A last-minute touchdown. No flags to bail the Chiefs out this time. I'm going to give them a 24-20 win for the Saints this week against the Chiefs. Which is bold, I know. Because it's the Chiefs. And how dare they not go 5-0 in their 3-peat season. Okay? But there's always got to be an upset somewhere on the schedule. And I think this might be the one. So we're going to go with this. We're going to go with this being one of the upsets the Chiefs face this year. And honestly, it wouldn't be a terrible upset because the Saints aren't that bad. They had a few really good games this year so far. So for the Chiefs to lose to the Saints would not be a surprise to me. Right? That's the type of game right there that could be a trap upset game for the Chiefs. And I'm feeling it right now. I believe it might be. With that being said, those are my picks for this week. If you liked the video, give it a like. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that big old subscribe button, and we'll see you next time. Peace out, y'all. Woo, woo, woo.